I would like to introduce members from the Coral Gables Garden Club, Clarita Bondaroo and Kanita Lorette DeMola, two very talented members who have worked for a long time with the Royal Poinciana. We have seen them on trees as we go by in South Florida and how beautiful they look. We didn't know how beautiful the blossoms were until we were able to make corsages or arrangements that they've been able to show us. Again, I'd like to introduce Clarita Bondaroo and Kanita Lorette DeMola, who will show us things to do this morning with the Royal Poinciana.
Before we can use the Poinciana flower for corsages or other decorations, they need to be treated so that they will last longer and will not get stained with the pollen. That is such a fine little powder that it gets into everything. And in order also, we have to be careful because these Poincianas are very attractive to little bugs, little flies, little spiders, ants, that when you make a corsage, like to run around the people's neck and explore to see what's in there. But anyway, to prevent that, we cut the Poincianas when they're in bud, like this, the night before. And we put them in a pan with water. Leave them at room temperature overnight, and they will open. By first thing in the morning, you see them opening a little bit like this. And a few hours later, they get a little bigger. And then a little bigger. Okay? Then they get a little bigger. And by the time they're like this, you have to put them in the refrigerator for a few hours to slow down the aging process of the flower so that they can last longer at night out of water. In water, they will last for quite a while. But out of water, you need to refrigerate them. And to know if you go in a tree and you want to pick up some flowers in a hurry, and all the flowers are there, you don't know which is fresh and which is not. And when you go under a tree to pick up flowers, it all looks like this. And you do not know which flower is open this morning and which one opened last night. The only way to know is that the fresh one will have the bottom petal white. Yes, the bottom petal of the Poinciana will be white and will last longer. So before you use them in any decoration, table napkin, napkin rings or something like that, you have to remove the pollen that is in the pistils, because this is what really stains. It's a really fine yellow powder, very hard to remove. And now the flower is tame and ready to be used. And if you, depending what you're going to make, you need some other materials. Like you need foliage that has to be clean and conditioned as well. And it's the same as making a flower arrangement. It has to be in good condition and especially fresh. I'll show you the wire and ribbon and the techniques to make a corsage. I'll show Nita, because she's very anxious to learn. She's going to take over the fiesta next year, aren't you?
Clarita, I wanted to ask you about the different colors you have here of the Royal Poinciana. Some look salmon colored and the others are very red. Could you tell me about that?
Yes, the thing that the ones that open on the tree are lighter in color because the sunshine has faded them, and because also with the air and the wind, the petals get very smooth and thinner. So the color gets lighter. The ones that open inside don't have that. So the color is a lot more intense. And just by chance, it's a beautiful orange, but it's out of a red tree. So maybe it's a mutation of some kind. I don't understand. But the main reason for the change in the color is the bleach of the sunshine and the wind that smooths out the petals. Does that answer your question, Nita?
Yes, it does. Thank you. I didn't know that you would find two colors on the same tree.
I didn't either. That's what I am so thrilled about.
But I do know that you can find white Poinciana trees and yellow,
Right.
but they are rarities.
And they are, as a matter of fact, there are 3 new ones. They have the orange one. Cunita
brought this one.
brought a yellow one. That is a lovely one. But another yellow that is more yellow than this one. This is sort of orangey yellow. There's a lemony yellow.
No, but besides, there are one that is completely orange.
Yes.
I saw walking in 57 Avenue.
And Steve and they were saying that the white is not going to be available for another 3 years because they're working with them from seedlings and they're only about this big. And even though the Poinciana grows very fast, this one is taking its time. But to finish talking about the Poincianas, let me show you how you put them in water. When you come with your basket full of buds, you take a baking pan or any dish. I'm using these plastic ones because they're very light. And you put a piece of tin foil over it. Very stretched, very smooth. And with a pencil, you puncture holes. As many holes as buds you're gonna put. Then you put water, and the Poincianas don't much like to have the faces wet, especially overnight. So you put the bud with the stem, freshly cut stem, inside, so that it'll drink water. And that's when they'll be opening. Here's one that it was too crowded, it didn't quite finish opening yet, but this is what they do. And it's such a thrill in the morning, it's almost like Santa Claus that come and you go see your tray and it's all red.
And then after they've opened, you put them in the refrigerator?
I let them drink water for a little while.
Oh, you let
A
them
little
drink
longer, yes.
a little longer, and
Yes.
then you put them in the refrigerator till you're ready to use
Right,
them.
about 3 hours, 3-4 hours is the best. The last time I did them too much and the petals got weak. I guess they're really tropical and they don't like cold weather.
They don't like too much cold weather.
Not too much, but they need it to harden.
Okay.
And to make the corsages, you have your flowers. You're gonna need wire. And the wire comes in different gauges of thickness. And the higher the number, the thinner the wire. The ideal one, I think, is a 24, because the thinner is very difficult to tape. And at my stage of life, with arthritis and everything, it's easier to roll a little thicker one than a thin one. And you need corsage tape, or floral tape, they call it. And you have to take part of the wire so that it will not cut the flower. And this is the part that will go, I'll show you how to do it. And then green, you need green for the stem. Or if you find enough red tape, this floral tape, you can put the stem in that color if that's what you want. If you like open bow. And I'll show you the whole thing, but let's get started and make a corsage.
Now, what should I do first?
The first thing you have to do is clean the pollen.
All right, if
Good.
you'll give me a flower, I will clean the pollen off
Yes.
of the filament.
And you can make the corsage with 2 flowers or 4 flowers. If you're gonna make it with more than 4 flowers, with more than 2 flowers, have the first 2 be a little smaller so that you can have gradation, just like in Mother Nature. And
Now, when I pull this pollen off, should I take the whole thing out or
or just a little head,
Oh,
just a little
look
head.
at the color of this little tip of pollen. My goodness. If I got this on my dress, it would be a lot, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
My fingers were all orange after cleaning pollen.
The pollen on this, since that they just freshly, the ones that open in the tree, they either lost the pollen or it's very loose. Look, Nita, this one open in the tree.
Oh my goodness. At one swoop.
See
you
the
got
yellow?
all of that. Yes.
The ones that open in the house.
Correct.
See, that's
That's
yellow.
very
That's the
yellow. That's the stain. So I still have the little filament left, and I've taken the pollen off of these.
Okay, you're gonna do it with 2 flowers?
Well, I think I'll start with 2 and
Okay, let me show you how to put the wire. This has, I tape a little bit here, a little red of wiring. And part of the stem, because the purpose is you're gonna make a false stem so that you can bend it and not break it. And you cut the real stem so that the corsage will not be heavy. And I didn't give you issue tape.
all right. I have bent my wire like you, and you said that was a hairpin.
Yeah, that's a hairpin.
Then did you want me to bend it a little bit forward?
Do you know that it's not necessary, and sometimes it's better if you don't, if the flower is not completely open.
All right. So now I want to put the wire in
Right above the white petal.
right above the orchid-looking petal.
Yeah, the white.
All right. I noticed that there are 2 of these underneath. Should I go on
Yeah, go on either side.
each side of this underneath area and each side of the white petal? Right.
Just like that, see? Can you see it? And then you close it down, leaving the stem of the flower.
The wire on each side of the petal that's white and on each side of the bud holder. And pulled it through. And now you want me to put tape on it.
Yeah, let me teach them about this tape,
Okay.
tape. This is either floral tape or corsage tape. And you have to stretch it. If it's not stretched, it will not stick. You stretch it, and I like to put it at, like so, at an angle. Then bring back that end and start turning.
I see that the pollen has already been taken off of this one, and the stem has been cut a little shorter than you had it as you put it in your pan. Now I'm going to take my wire and bend it. I see you've already put a little tape on this wire so that where I bent it, there's tape covering the wire. That's so it does not cut into the flower. Is that right?
That's correct.
Now I'm going to take my flower, and you said to put the wire through where it goes on each side of the petal, and also not to go through the little parts that were the bud, but on each side of that. Now I'm going to spread my wire open just a little bit so it's not so hard going into there. Let's see. Let me get that filament out. And I'm pulling my wire all the way down into the flower. I can't even see it hardly because you use such a pretty color of tape there. That's good.
It's red, yeah. That's
Because
good.
it disguises that. Now I'm going to try to tape it. I'll take the tape as you've told me and tape right up at the base around the wire and the stem that has been cut. And then I'll pull at the tape to keep it where it'll stick, and I'm going down the wire. As I said, I guess this takes practice. Am I doing okay?
You're doing great, and you're either a very good student or I'm a very good teacher.
I think you're a good teacher. You can see I've enjoyed this.
That's the number one ingredient that we need is enthusiasm
Well,
and love of flowers.
now, as you told me, that wire should be able to hold that flower, and I see it does.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tape the flower, take the tape off, and you said not too much tape because it would make the corsage
heavy.
heavy. All right, now we have
Do you want to
four.
make two? Let's make a 4-flower corsage.
All right, let's make a 4-flower corsage.
So what we do is that we get the smallest flower will be at the top because like when you make a floral design, the smaller flowers are higher up than the bigger ones. And here we do have to bend the flower some so that it'll be facing you. And you put one in front of the other one and put a little piece of tape, very little piece of tape. Break it up and tape these two together.
All right, I'm taping those two together with the smaller one on the top, the larger one on the bottom, and you said to bend the bottom one toward you just
A little bit so that it'll face you.
All right,
The Japanese says that flowers should have a chance to say hello. That's so you can see them.
so here's another little piece of tape.
That you put in that, because we're making a 4-flower corsage.
All right, so I can tape these together, bit of tape, and I'm stretching on the tape so it'll stick. Now to make our 4-flower corsage,
Now we're gonna take the other 2 flowers and tape them with another little piece of tape in the center, like that.
oh, but I see you have so much wire going off to
Well,
the
you'll
side.
see.
Oh, we're going to use that for something
That's
else.
a decoration.
Right, so you've given me
A little piece of tape, and you're gonna tape between those.
between
Tie those
the two,
together,
all
yes.
right?
And I'm gonna show
This
you.
is fun. Now, what will we do with this leftover wire?
You're gonna make a decoration, I'll show you how in a minute, unless you can think of something. This I have, this flower, perhaps this wire is not long enough. But if you were having a dinner party and you wanted an unusual
Napkin ring?
napkin ring, you just put the napkin through there.
Oh, that
and
would
it
be
would
pretty.
sit, see? And again, you can make it with one flower or with two flowers.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
And they're beautiful.
Oh, they would be.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
there we go. Now let me show you.
Now what
To
to
finish
do?
this corsage, we need a ribbon.
All
Do
right.
you want red? We do red, or you want green?
Well, I don't think I like that red with it. Um,
Is that more?
this one would be more,
That's right.
this is more of a,
That's more Christmas.
mhm.
Now, always at the ribbon, I like to cut it at an edge like that. You wasteless ribbon, and first you cut a piece about 10 inches, 10, 12 inches, make a twist. Then, I don't like the ribbon to be more important than the flower, so we're gonna make a medium bow that will take maybe 6 loops. And you turn and pinch. Turn and pinch so that it'll have a little waistline in the center.
What is this ribbon called?
This is acetate ribbon and it's waterproof for flowers.
Here was your little
Here it is. You can read what it says there.
exclusive florist ribbon and florist supplies. Fused edge acetate water repellent.
Yeah.
That's great. You need to go to a florist to get this, a florist
No,
supply.
yeah, florist supply, or any craft shop, they have them now. And then you take the small piece that you cut first, and with that you tie the loops that you made with the ribbon, and you put it in the center of the corsage. And you tie it with a double knot. And you tie it with a double knot so that the ends will go that way. And you straighten it up here. Now you can make it if you want to have a vertical corsage, or if you want to have a hogarth, like an S. You fold it any way you want to, that's what the wires are there for. But I know you're wondering what we're gonna do with these long wires that are bothering you. This is a wire cutter that is not too sharp anymore. And we trim the ends. And there are 2 ways to finish it. You can take a pencil and roll this here. Can you see, Nathan?
Yes.
Just roll it.
Oh, that's cute.
And that also gives you balance when you pin it.
Now this won't get anything on your clothes because
No,
we
no,
removed
no.
the pollen.
Unless you pick it in the tree, and that's another reason that we pick the buds before they open. If you pick the flowers from a tree, even though they don't seem to have the pollen, it will be in the back of the leaves and it stain your clothes. So I highly recommend picking the buds.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And then you put your pin, and you're ready to pin it.
Oh, that is so
And when
pretty.
you pin it, you put it, usually the way the flower grows. If the stem is down, you put it with the stem down, because most people put the stem up high. And it's try to figure out, here we don't know, so it
Either
goes
way.
either way. But when you pin it high enough, so part of the corsage will show from the back. because if not, all be here. And when they hug you, it will get squashed. So it's a little higher is better.
Well, that's pretty.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good. And let me show you one pretty thing that you can do with these flowers. I mean, we all like recycling, and the recycling of these flowers, when you think that you cannot do anything else with a flower, yes, you can. This also makes a pretty flower. A more exotic type thing, and it makes pretty corsages or boutonnieres.
Oh, yes, that
And
would be
it's,
great.
It's very nice. So there you go. It's not easy. It's not difficult, and it makes people happy, and it makes me happy to do it. So I highly recommend it.
Could you ever make an arrangement by taping those stems and sticking them
Sure
in
you can.
something and
Yes.
just having them sit in? Do you need to keep them in water when
No,
you do,
no.
because they're taped?
No, with
then?
this, because this is not gonna be in water.
How long will that last?
It will last tonight for a ball, for a party. I did not refrigerate it, so it might be good tomorrow, I don't know.
It may last as much as a
It-
day or
it may,
two.
yes.
So you could do it the day before and it
Right.
would be ready the next day.
One thing I didn't bring was a plastic bag to show you how to carry them. Or this could also be put for a wristlet.
I've seen your way to show how to carry them. Can I do it with this plastic bag
Yeah,
for
do
you?
it, do it.
All right, should we put it in there?
Okay.
I think you've always done this with straw before.
Yeah, and I didn't bring a straw.
But you put it in the plastic bag, you close the plastic bag and put the straw into the corner, and then you blow air into it. So I'll just blow just some air into this one.
And you know, I think it's good to do this in the refrigerator, because if in the refrigerator you have vegetables that are not covered, they give ethylene gas. And that gas seems to put the flowers to sleep.
So this is, you're completed
Yes, right.
in a plastic bag.
Yeah.
And
And
if
if
you
it's a
took-
pretty bag, you put a little ribbon and that's it.
Oh, isn't that good?
And you can also use it as a wristlet.
Very good. Thank you so much. I think this has shown us things that we did not know we could do.
Well, thank you.
I use it too.
Yes.
You know, with this container, sometimes it's difficult because you cannot use any mechanic. You have to use the same flower or whatever it is and accommodate the most, as much as you can. But it's very beautiful, and it's, I think, very appropriate for this kind of flowers. And if you condition the bougainvillea, you can keep it for 15 days or more. You only have to submerge in water and then make your arrangement 2 hours after. And that's all. I hope you like it.
How many?
So that was Cunita's container, and I wanted to see what it would look like with just the peekaboo Poincianas there, and it needs a lot of height
Yeah.
to be beautiful. But now I know where the container is, and it has almost my initials.